Okay, Monday morning, we're going to get right back into the markets, get into the charts, look at what's going on. I got a couple things I'm seeing that's kind of interesting, and then I'm also going to point out a couple potential trade ideas that aren't ready to enter yet, but there's a setup there that where they might be close. So I want to make sure everybody has those on their radar. They're definitely on my radar. Before I get started, though, if anybody didn't see my post from yesterday, I did just finish the technical analysis and trading course that I've been working on over the last few weeks. So this course is really designed to capture all the methods and methodologies that I use in my trading style and really train everyone in detail how to apply these techniques in reading the charts and money management. It's a 8-part video course that it's about 5 hours or so of training. So check it out if you haven't already checked it out, and if you have, you can provide some feedback. But I'll leave a link in the description below so that you can go check it out. It's basically $100. It's $99.99. I feel like that's a pretty good value for 5-6 hours of training and the amount of time I put into it. So getting into SPY. All right, so we've got a little bit of a bounce here. It makes sense that we would bounce here. That on Friday they popped it in the last 5 minutes. We're getting a little more continuation, but that makes sense because you can see the bottom of the trading range that we've been in. Think of this as a big sideways trading range. Let me see. Think of this area like that as a big sideways trading range, and so we ran down to the bottom right there. So what we could do, I don't know if we're going to do it, but a pop back up to this resistance line right up here, and then probably get rejected up there. I'm not sure if we're going to do it, but it's possible. Again, we also have resistance. It's right about 331.29, and it looks like we're getting rejected here as of right now. So again, I think that we're going lower, but we could obviously go up to this resistance line first. The elections tomorrow, there's a lot, there's going to be a lot of volatility and a lot of whipsaw signals and fake outs. So my preference is to keep it kind of light on indices trades and just give it a little bit of time to really see where things are heading. I don't think that any institutional traders on Wall Street are going to be taking huge positions or moving huge amounts of money around based on, prior to the election. I think what most institutions are going to do is let the election settle out, kind of see where things kind of lie, and then start taking positions. So that probably won't come till the end of the week or next week, where we'll start to see a directional trade bias, and then we can really start to hone in on that. Qs, Qs basically same thing. Popped right up. I have this line marked at 273.92. We popped right up to it this morning, and now we're fading and rolling over. So, I think that because we're gonna, if this closes below this, what's the level? It's right about 271.52. A close below that, I think, really sets us up for a move all the way down to 265.73. This is a level I've been talking about for quite a while. This level I get on the weekly chart and really on the daily, but you can see it clear on the weekly. Weekly right here, upper end of this price channel right there. So this red line is this big long price channel going all the way back to 2009. We pop to the upside. Usually when you have an upward moving price channel and you pop to the upside like that, that's a low probability area. So you're going to fade most of the time back into the price channel. That's that's what I'm anticipating, is that we are going to fade back into the price channel. If we break back down into the price channel, we might chop around a little bit around this upper level, but ultimately we should head down to the bottom end of the price channel. Now, once we're down there, we'll evaluate what's going on, whether we're going to break the price channel or not. I'm not so sure. I think, if I had to, someone held a gun to my head, I'd say, yeah, we're going to break the bottom of the price channel. And that goes back to the SPY chart and how it's broken its bull market trend line. So, Yeah, I think the Qs will break its bull market trend line as well. But until we see it happen, we'll have to just evaluate what's going on. IWM, small caps, it's back within its price channel. So its price channel is this big sideways price channel right here between this purple line and this red line. We should break eventually out of this, but down or up. But as of right now, we had a false breakout above it, and it's impulsively been recaptured back into the price channel. So I think we head down to the bottom, 145.36. Here's gold bullion, just making another run up to resistance. It's just been, downtrending. So you can see here, gold just been moving lower and lower and lower. Not impulsively, which to me looks pretty. It looks pretty indicative of a bull market. We're just flagging basically. So I'm still looking for some sort of washout move down to 1790. That should be pretty strong support. So I'll be looking to be a buyer in that area as well. I'll start targeting the gold miners on this channel if or when it gets down there. Well, and you can see the dollar's not really selling off either. So gold's moving up, but the dollar's not selling off. So that should put downward pressure on gold as the dollar is kind of holding strength, moving higher slightly. But the dollar's been in this big sideways trading range. It is starting to break to the upside. You can see we're starting to get out of this range. If I mark out the range, it was really right about there, something like that. Slightly lower potentially, but we're starting to get out of there. So maybe it will continue upward. That should continue to put downward pressure on the markets. A move up to about 95, 96 area, and then I'm looking for that to reverse. Okay, couple trade ideas, trade setups. They're not actionable yet, but they are setups. So looking here at the daily at Sunrun. This is one of those solar stocks. I don't really know what they do, but I know a lot of subscribers had been asking me about it, and it was a popular hot stock for a while because obviously it had this huge run. Whenever stocks have these huge runs, I hear about it from my subscribers. Check out this stock. Tell me about this. It just tells me that a lot of people are crowded into the same trade. They're not usually looking to fade or short these stocks. They're usually long and participating in the momentum. And it looks like this momentum has now broken. So here's Run. Daily chart here. You can see we just walked up the trend line like that. And in the previous video, in a while back on the hourly chart, I marked it out and said, look, here's a slight uptrend. If we break that, we're probably heading down to the major trend line. And it's right. And we did that. There it is right there, straight down. So if you faded that move and shorted, that's a move of 30%. That's a nice trade. I didn't catch that one. But you can see back to the daily here, we broke that trend line now. So the momentum was pretty strong. It broke the trend line. So that's broken now. So what I'm looking for is back tests. Back tests should be opportunities to short this thing. And so that's what I'm looking for. You can see on the daily chart, big negative divergence there on the daily. So that looks good on the RSI. PPO, it's right there. You also have the crossover. There's your bearish crossover on the PPO. Trend line's broken. Everything's pretty clean. So now just looking for an objective entry. So if you got it right up here, then that's an objective entry. But if it wants to come in and do another back test, that will give an opportunity for an objective entry to establish or add to a short position. So looks good to me. And that right now it's going to be around 58 area. And this can backtest for a while. So keep in mind, position sizing is important, but can backtest, can do some more backtests, but each backtest to me looks like an opportunity to build a short position or start one, add to one. And targets on this, well, I see first target's probably about this 44.74. And then we've got right down here at 36.32. And then down here at 23.38. So those are kind of the three targets I see. Obviously, I always step in a little bit early and cover when I'm taking profit. Okay, Qualcomm. I like this one. I am short this one as of right now. This one's got everything I need to see to short. Now, nothing's guaranteeing that the trade's going to work out, but it's a high probability short. And again, when the probabilities are in your favor, that's when you take trades, or that's when I take trades, high probability trades. So here's what we got on Qualcomm. Uptrend line coming off the March lows. It was just moving up on the daily chart here. We put in negative divergence right there. Here's your negative divergence on the RSI, negative divergence on the PPO. So right there, as prices were moving higher, you got a bearish crossover on the PPO right there. And we broke trend. Now it's not impulsive yet. As I move in, you can see here's the break of trend right there. But here's what I do like about it, why I think this thing is going to roll over. You got a fake out move or a whipsaw. So it broke trend right here on October 28th, chopped around a little bit. It wasn't impulsive, and then it went to do a kickback rally, but it recovered the trend line. So that had me questioning for sure the trend line. I kind of looked at it. I was adjusting it, see if I'm off a little bit. But I felt like I'm in the area where I'm pretty close. And then it recovered it, but then the next day, gapped back down, back below the trend line. So today, they gapped it back above the trend line, but now it's selling off. So it keeps chopping around this trend line, but it's struggling, and it's volatile. So volatility, anytime you see increased volatility, typically that's indicative of a trend change. And we keep getting rejected, kind of doing these little fake out moves where it's kicking back to the trend line and then breaking down. My trend line might be off slightly, but I still think that this is getting rejected at resistance and rolling over. So if you want to be sure and really be sure, then you could wait for a break of 121.52. A breakdown of that should set this thing in motion for a move all the way down to 109.75, and then, get a reaction there. And then you break down from there and you've got this big gap right down here. And the profit target for this gap would be right around 90, it's about 94. So the trade idea, if this works out, is a 24.5, almost 25% profit target. So that looks good, and I am short this one. Another trade idea, BBB or BBY. You can see here on the daily, this is the trend line I had marked out. I kind of was playing with it at the lows, but this is the cleanest. You get the most reactions here. So walking up the trend line, then you put in a negative divergence right here. This is a divergent high, this area, telling you that a trend change is pending or likely, and then you break trend line support right here. So here's your break right there, and you get confirmation with more follow through. So you break trend, another candle's red. So now it looks like we're chopping around it and doing some back testing action. Moving in on the hourly, any move up to, this trend line up here, 116.85, whatever, depending on when it actually gets there, is an objective area to add or establish a short position. So I'm looking for that. Profit targets on this one, well, I see right here about 104.20, and then you've got this gap down here sitting at 91.28. So depending on when we actually get in this thing, 21.5% potential profit. I like that one. Of course, you got to wait for the objective area. I don't like to enter a trade until I can get an objective area. Because the thing is, it could backtest here, and then it could backtest again, and backtest again. I want to get the cleanest, most low-risk entry points or buy points that I can get. So when, if it keeps backtesting against me, it's not hurting me as bad. And then when it starts going in my favor, I'm profitable pretty quickly. A couple trades I added to this morning is Zoom and Tesla. And then we'll probably wrap up Zoom. So, and then, so you can see here on Zoom, here's what we got going on in Zoom. The Zoom looks like it's ready for a pretty nasty fall. Zoom obviously is, I think, the best performing stock this year. That makes sense. It's a pandemic kind of stock. But the momentum, I believe, has run its course, and you're going to start seeing people taking profit. When we're trying to short sell a high flying stock, we're looking for the momentum to fade, and we jump on board. So here's the signs that momentum's fading. Big negative divergence on the daily chart. So this high right here was a divergent high, a negative divergent high, and we've gotten a big sell-off since then. You can see, we've moved down already about 20%. This trend line right here has created this price channel. Well, this is a lot like the Qs. You get to the upper end of the price channel, and it's a low probability area that it's going to continue, and it's a higher probability it's going to fade back to into the price channel. That's what I think we do on Zoom. We are already back within the price channel and headed down towards the bottom. If you look at the hourly, you can see that today they did a back test right there this morning, ran up right to the resistance line and got rejected, and now it's continuing down. So to me, this looks like a move down to the bottom of the price channel. From where we're at now, that's a move of 14%. And there also is a gap right down here. So we might even undercut the bottom of the price channel and fill this gap at 325. So I am watching for that. I think that is probable that we break down to the, and fill this gap. And Tesla, you can see what Tesla did. So here's the breakdown level that we broke down on Friday at 406.31. Pretty impulsive breakdown on the hourly chart. They just came up and did a back test of it today. So I added to my short position on that back test, and looks like we're going to continue lower. First level of support, 363.44, and then we have a level at, we've got lots of levels, but my targets for this one are really down here at 245.20 and 226.90. So that's down there a ways. That's going to be down about 40% or so to the final price target. Obviously, I'll probably take some profit along the way at some of these support levels. Next one, 363.43, 329.77, 275.70, and then those targets I just laid out. So that's what I got for today, or at least for this morning. If anything crazy happens, I'll put out another video. Again, guys, check out the course if you're interested in learning about this strategy and how to apply it. It takes discipline, it takes practice, but if you learn it and if you practice, you can perfect it. So again, all trade ideas on this channel are just my opinion. No financial advice here. I'm not a financial advisor, so seek financial advice from a registered financial advisor if you want that. And thanks, guys. Appreciate it.